Imagine if we found the next Stephen King on this channel before he was Stephen King. How crazy would that be? Hi guys, how you doing today? It's Epictalez back again. Before we start, I want you to like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so that anytime I release a video, you know about it. I want to start a series where I review debut authors or new authors. The idea behind it is that I want to see if I can determine if an author has potential, just so that if they become famous in the future, I can be like, well, I said it. I like being right. I'm going to start with really cool guy. His name is Thomas Walker. Quick information about this guy. This guy didn't finish school. He served in the military for 10 years, came back with PTSD and a back injury, and decided when he came back that he wanted to focus on family and he wanted to tell stories. So I met this guy online and he gave me his book to read. I told him that if I liked it, I was going to review it on my YouTube channel, and he was like, yeah, but if you're reviewing it, I don't want any fluff piece. And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna give you any fluff piece because in my channel I'm keeping it honest 100%. Funny thing is that I actually enjoyed the book. He's self-published and I really wish that he got like a professional editor to edit the book, but the story itself is actually so good. I enjoyed the story based on how he has set things up. It's a series that I can see myself reading just because I love the characters and just because I like the story itself. So let's start with the characters. So in the first book, he establishes his characters pretty well. The events that develop these characters as the book goes along, some of them were really interesting. There's a character in particular that I want to know how she evolves and how she moves on after the end of the book. Her storyline was so interesting. I want to see what he does with her in the next book. Another character I really enjoyed was the antagonist. He's a villain that is basically aware of his own ego. Thomas Walker took advantage of that dynamic to create very interesting comedic effect. His characters feel realistic and his characters are based off people he knew while he was in the military and some family members. So they feel real. These characters, you empathize with them, you care about them. Check this out. You lower life forms never learn, do you? I suppose I should introduce myself. I am the all-powerful, all-knowing Marvin, and I am... He trailed off into yet another laugh, this time a maniacal cackle. Okay, I'm not all-knowing or any of that, but I'm going to kill all of you, and oh, my name really is Marvin. The only problem I had with his character development was that for his characters that had a lot of POV time, he developed them really well. But then the other characters, he didn't quite develop them as well as I would have liked. So basically, imagine a book that is 80,000 words. Imagine this 80,000 word book has 50 characters. Now imagine if somebody reduced that 80,000 word to like 40,000 with the same amount of 50 characters. I don't feel like the scope of the book allowed him to develop some other characters as well as he could have. Another problem I had with his characters was that too many characters are introduced at the same time. I usually don't like that. I prefer it when characters are introduced and established before more characters are introduced, so that I am clear on who is who. When I'm reading, I like to read smooth. I don't like to turn the pages back to find my bearing as I read. You know the idea of show don't tell? He started establishing some characters by the kind of personalities they had with actions. He now does an inner monologue that defines those characters. It was interesting because the way he defined the characters was the same way I understood them before he defined them. He did it for two characters specifically and killed a lot of mystery about them. I still love them, but that mystery element about them that I enjoyed was gone. So let's talk about the plot. This book is plot based. Usually I judge the plot by how predictable it is. Like if I know the destination, then what's the point of reading the book? This book is plot based and I had no idea where the book was going to go. At the end of it, I was impressed with the sequence of events that led to that specific ending. The pacing of the book is one of the best things about it. Despite some of the inner monologues that distracted me from the story, I still enjoyed the book. I still wanted to know what was going to happen next. So a combination of his sequence of events and the pacing of the events as well, I feel like he did a really good job. The magic system is so interesting. So the book, right, is basically about magic versus technology, and none of them, as far as I've seen in the book, is superior to the other. He doesn't go into extensive explanation about his magic system, but what he does is that everything that is possible with technology, right, seems to be also be possible with magic. This is not a spoiler, I promise you. But think of a scenario where like they can use technology to download information from a human being's brain. There's a magical way of doing that. My point is that the magic system felt very part of the world in a natural way. You know, I like that dynamic he created there. Now the prose. I feel like this writer is yet to discover his voice. And one of the reasons I feel like he hasn't found his voice yet is his extensive use of adverbs, which I don't like. I think of adverbs the same way I think of exposition. Let me just use this as an example. Do not tell me he smiled angrily, right?
How can someone smile angrily?
Instead of saying something like he smiled angry, say he smiled, but the venom in that smile was palpable. Describe how someone can be smiling angrily. He did it happily. Tell me he jumped in joy. His heart was elated. Like, describe it, you know? So sometimes, right, when he was delivering information through dialogue, which is how I like information being revealed in books, he could have structured his dialogue better, but the quality of the conversation was not bad at all. It felt realistic. It felt natural. So some of the inner monologuing that he did, I found it very distracting. It was like, I'm in the story, I'm lost in the story. When he started inner monologuing a character, it just took me out of the story. It's like, what are you trying to make me understand through this exposition? And I also feel like he could have been more efficient with his sentence structures. If you can say something in 4 words, don't say it in 5. So despite my problems with the prose, I really enjoyed the book. I believe this guy has potential because he did the difficult things easy, and the easy stuff that experience or like some kind of formal teaching would help you understand, right? He didn't do so well. His mistakes are so fixable. His mistakes are mistakes that he can learn from very easily. And I feel like this book in general, right, would have been better if he had a professional editor edit it for him. He told me that it was a family member that edited the book for him. I don't know what it was like before the family member edited it. It would have been better if he got a professional editor to call him out on some of his prose choices, some of his word choices and everything. But altogether, I really enjoyed the book and I'm looking forward to the next series. Now, if I've said anything, right, that makes you curious enough to want to check out the book, the link is down in the description. Get the book down there, read it, and let me know what you think. Read my book, Cradle of Chaos. Also tell me what you think about that book as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell notification so that anytime I release a video, you know about it. And peace.
Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can!